been a while since we've done anything on this project. It's our 02 Civic. And the last thing we did to it was, well, on camera anyway, was finish up our paint job. So it's been probably about a year now, I think, since we finished it, pretty close to it. So we're gonna do something I talked about a while back, and I've had this for ever since right after we finished the paint job, but I'm just now getting kind of caught up and getting around to doing it. Got a little bit of free time, like one day, so I'm gonna utilize that to get this done. So basically what we're gonna do is, I've got some Flake here, and I've been really wanting to spray Flake for a long time. I just never had anything I want to spray it on, so I want to try it out. So I'm gonna do just the roof panel on this car, and as you can see, the car is a metallic green, and it looks kind of hazy and blotchy there. It's because I just wiped it down with some glass cleaner, so it's still got some marks and stuff on it, which is okay. But anyway, the car is like a metallic green, almost got a little bit of a blue hue. So I picked out this chameleon flake that's green and kind of blue, a little bit of purple. So I thought that would be like just a little bit of custom touch, but it wouldn't really stick out, wouldn't really be too crazy and silly looking. It might be, I don't know. But anyway, so that's what we're gonna do. I'm just gonna do it basic. I'm just gonna flake it out and clear it. We'll go through the whole process on what that involves. We're gonna learn together. I've never sprayed flake, so we're gonna learn together, and I think it'll be fun. I think it's gonna turn out good. So I'm gonna be spraying it in the morning, and so tonight what I need to do is just get it prepped out. So let me go ahead and start on it, and I'll kind of show you what we're gonna be getting into. For doing stuff like this, like doing prep work, I'll just use some cheap masking tape. I'll go around on the edges, like, you know, where I don't wanna sand or anything, and I'll put this on there. You know, being that this has been repainted, the paint is, I wouldn't really say fragile, but it's a little more delicate than factory. So you don't want to put something really tacky onto like fresh paint like this. If I do have like something tacky, I'll like stick it to my pants leg first to kind of get some of the tack off of it. But I'm just going to use this cheap masking tape because it's not very tacky, and it's not really a good choice to be, you know, using on automotive paint. I wouldn't use it to tape anything up for paint, but it works good for stuff like this. So I'll go around my glass. You know, stuff like this takes just a few minutes to do, and it prevents a lot of heartache and headache. You know, it would cause if you had an issue. So just like any paint procedure, even though this is fresh, I keep saying fresh paint, it's new paint, it's been almost a year. But like anything else, it needs some type of mechanical adhesion for it. So that means we're gonna have to sand it. So typically on something like this, the way we're gonna be spraying this flake, there's different ways to do it. The way we're gonna be doing this is we're gonna be spraying it wet. So we're gonna mix our flake. This is a dry flake, but we're gonna mix it into a clear base coat. So we're gonna be spraying it like you would base coat. We're gonna be spraying it on, and then we'll come back and we'll clear over it. So I'd be treating that, but you gotta think it's also you're gonna be treating it basically like a base. You know, I would prep this out with like 600 grit probably. Being that it's gonna be transparent and stuff like that, I wouldn't want to go 400. I'd go 600. The same way I prepped this car out for this particular color was with 600. You could do 8, which is fine. We're gonna be doing 8 because I just realized I'm out of 600. So I've got 800 grit disc, which is fine. And we're gonna prep it out in 800. All our flat surfaces, which is be really easy on this. And then all the edges, I'll go around with a gray scuff pad. So all we're looking for here, we're gonna knock down like just this little bit of texture we got, and just get the whole thing uniformly dull. That's what we're looking for, is uniformly dull. We don't want no shiny or nothing like that. And that'll give us a good surface for our base, which is our flake, to adhere to, and then we'll clear over. Now, being this flake is kind of big, after we lay it down and we clear it, we're gonna try to, we're gonna try to clear like we normally do, but it'll probably have it's probably gonna have quite a bit of like texture to it, the roughness, just due to like the thickness of the flake and everything and how that lays down. So what you do to combat that, I'm gonna put 3 coats of clear on it. We'll let that fully cure for probably like a month, You don't have to wait that long, but I've got plenty of time. So I'm gonna let that probably fully cure for about a month. Then I'll come back and I'll scuff that up again with like 800. And then I'll put 3 more coats of just clear coat on there to build up enough. We'll have plenty of sanding that clear first is gonna level it out smooth again. So then when we clear it, that's gonna lay down smooth. So we're gonna go ahead and do that, get it buzzed down, and then we'll see what we got. So after about 10 minutes of work with our 800 grit, we are at this point, and it looks pretty good so far. Still got to go around all the edges. I want to stay away from any of this because I don't want to burn through. So at this point, I'm happy with the prep we've got on it right now and the condition of it. We've got it prepped down 800. We're gonna cross any of the edges and stuff like that in a gray scuff pad. So I've got it nice and uniformly dull. There's a couple little spots. You might see like a little bit of texture there. That's fine, I'm not concerned about that. We've got it relatively flat, and that's what we're looking for. And we've got some scuff and etch on every single part. All right, guys, day 2. So we got the car in the paint room. We got it taped up. We got it prepped out. Only thing left to do is clean it and get to work. Let's go ahead and show you what we got. So the most effective way, I think, cost effective and time effective, is gonna be, you know, masking up the majority of the vehicle is with this plastic sheeting that comes on a roll, and cover the whole vehicle. Then I just cut out those parts I want to paint and take the edges. And we're good. We got our rubbers pulled back, everything. We're gonna clean it real good. So that's what we got so far. So let me show you the products we're gonna be using. So there's different ways you can do flake. I'm only gonna show you the way I do it. Well, say the way I'm gonna do it because I ain't never done it before. So this is the flake we have. So this is I don't even remember what size it is. Oh, okay, 0.015. So I never sprayed flake, so I reached out to somebody and asked them what size tip do I need to use, and they said you should be fine with a 1.4. The guy I know does a lot of custom paint. So the way we're gonna do this, we gotta have, this is just dry flake. So there's gotta be some way to carry this onto the panel. There's different ways you can do it. I'm gonna be using inner coat clear, it mixes 1-to-1. This is essentially a clear base coat. I use it for like doing blends, for thinning out bases for doing blends. You mix this 1-to-1 like you would any other, or not any other base, almost 2-to-1, but your typical base. I'm planning on doing 3 coats on this, but I don't even really know how to mix it that good. I watched a few videos, so you know, I'm a YouTube pro, right? So we're gonna mix up the amount of clear that we want, or base coat that we want. Then we're just gonna mix in our flake until we get the desired consistency, essentially, I'm thinking. So yeah, let's get to it. Before I mix that up, I'm gonna go ahead and clean the car off camera. I'm gonna use a water-based cleaner. I like to use a spray foam and glass cleaner. I'll spray the whole panel down. I'll wipe it down, make sure the rag comes off clean. I'll come back with a wax and grease remover. I'll put one rag to put it on with, another rag to come back, take it right back off. Give that about 10 minutes to flash, and then we'll be ready for paint. Then we'll hit it with a tack cloth right before to get any dust that settled down on it, and then we'll be ready to spray. So let me go ahead and show you how we're gonna mix it. First, one more thing. For using a disposable cup system like this, has a built-in filter. Take that out. Take that out. Also, and don't strain your paint before you put it in the gun, because all that metal flake will get caught up in there. So we're gonna pull this out, and we're gonna go ahead and start mixing up our material. We'll be mixing this with slow reducer. I try to use slow reducer anytime possible. It is very warm today, so it's a good reason to use slow reducer, but I like to use it just about any other application that I can, especially with metallics. So I'm going to mix this base up a little bit. So it's 1-to-1. So however many ounces of base I put, we're going to match that with our reducer. So we got 10 ounces of base. So we're going to add 10 ounces of reducer. Okay, so now we're at 20 ounces total. Alright, so here we go. So I think it's going to take quite a bit of material. Let's start with that. Oh, and doesn't that look nice? It's beautiful. So when we pull it out, it's still pretty transparent on the stick. So let's add some more. Also, while you're spraying this, try to keep, agitating your gun to keep the flakes suspended in the product and not selling. Like I said, we're learning, so don't beat me up too much in the comments. Well, if you got obviously suggestions, let me know, but I'm not claiming to be a pro on this one, guys. Neither am I on anything, but I'll tell you when I do and don't have good experience with something. In this case, we don't have a lot of experience, but I'm good with that coverage right there, I think. Let me see. I think that's a pretty good amount of flake on there, so we're gonna go with that. So now that I got the product mixed up, I'm gonna get in the gun, I'm gonna get suited up, I'm gonna get everything clean, I'm gonna get everything ready to go, and I'll just show you me spraying it, and then so we'll see how we'll see what it looks like. So anyway, stay tuned. Huh, that's great. That is awesome right there. Good way to start off. Big old spot we missed on our masking tape. At least it's on the glass, but it probably got all up on our paint too, I'm sure. Wonderful. Great start, great start. I love it. So it's constantly agitate your cut. at this point, we're gonna spray our clear. This clear we have mixes 4 to 1 to 1. So we'll find our 4 to 1 to 1 scale. We'll put our clear to 8, our hardener to 8, and our reducer to 8. Whew, and we're done. Hopefully you got some decent footage, a decent angle of what I was trying to do. Still been trying to work on camera angles when painting. It's kind of hard to get that and focus on what you're doing and everything. But spraying this flake, it was kind of difficult and you couldn't really see what you're doing, just having to go by feel. Same with clearing over it. Usually, and I generally go by feel and muscle movement anyway, muscle memory anyway when I'm clearing. But generally, you know, I can kind of watch and see how it's laying down to see if I need to adjust my speed, distance, or whatever as I'm spraying it. With this being that flake was sitting so rough because those flakes are so big, some of them standing up, different angles. So when you go to spray over it, you know, it's not going to be perfectly smooth. So it's hard to tell if the clear is actually laying down good or, you know, or if it's just because of the surface under it. So just kind of had to go by muscle memory. But anyway, I think it turned out really good. I was going to put 3 coats on, but it was still so rough. I was scared that by the time I sand it flat, I might sand through too many of the flakes. So I ended up doing 4. I had a little bit of clear left, thankfully. Ended up doing 4 coats, and it started to level out pretty decent. It's got a little bit of peel in it, but it's really not bad considering how rough the surface was before we cleared it. This is a high solids clear, so it's got quite a bit of body to it, which is good. So I'm gonna show it to you real quick. Keep in mind, I think it looks pretty good right now. Keep in mind, after it cures, we're gonna sand it smooth and then we'll re-clear it again and it should look really good. So check it out. So you definitely see the chameleon effect, the green, the purple, the blue. Also, I didn't get 100% coverage. If you look close, you can kind of see some of the base peeking through, which is fine. This is why I chose this color flake to go over this color base in case it didn't completely cover. And I know that's probably come down, I didn't mix it strong enough and some technique as well. Who knows, I'm not a pro with flake. So you can see some of it kind of standing up. But all in all, I'm really happy with it, all in all. Really happy with it. So yeah, I really like how it's turned out so far. And I think once it cures good and we can level it out and clear it again, I think it's gonna look really good, really pleased with it. So I'm gonna go ahead and unmask it. I did make a boo-boo. Hopefully y'all seen it in the video, but right here, there was a section about this much where I didn't tape my clear down, so it's my plastic down. So as soon as I started spraying that first coat, I seen it lift up, so there's gonna be overspray all over this glass, which ain't a big deal, but I think it's probably some on this quarter panel, maybe this trunk lid. Hopefully it ain't too bad, whatever, we can clean it up. So we're currently on what I would call round 2 of the process here. It's been a couple days later, we've gave it, let's see how many days it's been. About 5 days. And you don't have to wait that long, but this is just how my time frame worked out. Anyway, since we got it sprayed, and of course with this kind of flake, it's gonna be a little rough. The clear is, we put 4 heavy coats on there. And let me show you how much, you know, some of the texture is in it. You see how rough it is, but it looks really good. I'm happy with it. But in order to get a true effect and to really make it look good, we wanna sand that smooth and re-clear it. So I'm gonna sand this with 800, sand it smooth. I should have plenty of material to do that. Then we got 4 heavy coats on there. And we'll sand that smooth. Then we'll put 3 more coats of clear on there. And I'm thinking it should look pretty good. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and start buzzing this down with a DA with 800. And I'm probably not gonna show that to you because this looks the exact same as, you know, when I've done it before. But let me get it prepped out, and then we'll come back and we'll clear it, and then we'll be done with it. All right, guys, so at this point, we've got the roof prepped out. We buzz it down with 800 on a DA, and it took quite a bit of time. There was quite a bit of, you know, orange peel and texture in this roof just due to the flake and everything. But we got it buzzed down. I done it in 800. 600 probably would have been better because it took a while to do an 8, but 8 is what I had, so we went with that. And I went around all the edges with a gray scuff pad like I always do. I've got it taped up. It's been cleaned with a water-based cleaner, which I used a foam and glass cleaner. Wax and grease remover for the solvent-based cleaner. And we're letting that flash off right now. As you can see, still a little bit, still flashing off. I wiped it all off. I put it on, wipe it right back off, but sometimes it takes a little while to flash. But anyway, so this is the consistency we got now, a nice dual surface. You'll see a little bit of maybe texture in it, but I've got about 95% of it out. Didn't see the value to go any further. I think what little bit's there will flow out with clear. Got it taped up. Go ahead and get my PPE on, and by that time this should be flashed off. We'll hit with a tack rag real quick. Then we'll spray, I'm thinking 3 coats of clear. That way we'll have a little bit, you know, in case we need a wet sand and buff it. So stay tuned, we're about to get spraying. So I finally got the car back to the house. I am done with it. I just gave it a bath to knock off all the dust and whatnot. Like I said, there's a few spots got a little overspray on, but no big deal. It could use a good polish anyway. Decided not to wet sand and buff the roof because it came out pretty slick. About as slick as you want. Anyway, so I'm gonna show it to you guys. I want you to tell me what you think about it. So I am very pleased with the outcome as far as the quality of the job, especially with not knowing what I'm doing. And I like the effect of it, but I'm really not too happy with the color. You know, I was picking the flake I picked, I was thinking was gonna be not so loud and obnoxious. I thought the green would be pretty close to what I got, and it turns out it is, but not thinking about it being a chameleon, you know, the green is on the face of it. With a roof, you're really looking at the flop of the color most of the time because you're looking at it from the side, and the flop of the color is really blue, and it just, like I said, it looks good, it just doesn't really fit the car. I think it looks kind of silly, but let me know what you think. We're gonna look at it. I've got it here in the shade because you know, it's gonna have a kind of a different effect in the shade versus in the direct sunlight. So I'm gonna look at it here in the shade. We'll move over to direct sunlight and kind of see what we think about it. So I haven't put my moldings or nothing on yet because I'm not, like I said, I'm not really sold on it. You know, I'm giving you this look above and there's a lot of green. But when you look at it standing back, how you would look at it at the car, you know, it's mainly like blue and purple, which just doesn't really match the car. It kind of sticks out a lot, I think. But as far as the quality of the job, I'm happy with it. It could have been a little better coverage on the flake, but that comes down to me not knowing what I'm doing. Probably not mixing it strong enough. But, you know, with this being a green flake over a green base, you know, it kind of hides a lot of that. That's kind of why I went with that color. But if we get far back, you're just in a green car and you see like a blue purplish roof. It's kind of silly. But I don't know. You know, I'm gonna give it time to kind of grow on me. I really don't want to redo it because it's just time that I got to invest in it, which it was perfectly fine and drivable before. Just want to try something new. So I invested time, a couple days in it to not get the desired result. Then I hate to invest another 2 days in it just to try and get something I'm happy with. But you know, it is what it is. That's trying something new. So let's move it over to the direct sunlight and look at it one more time. See, we're more in direct sunlight. See, it's really blue from here. It's not terrible. It might grow on me. I just want to make sure before I spend time polishing the rest of the car and putting the trim and everything on. Got a piece of tape I got to get off. But I think it's got a really good effect. It's just from the angle you look at it, it just looks really blue. So, guys, tell me what you think. Do you like it? Would you rock it? Would you change it? What would you do? Let me know. I'm not gonna do anything right now. Before if I decide to mess with it again, I'm trying to let the car sit out in the UV and really cure this product before I try to do anything with it, because I've got so many layers on here. You know, if I did do something with it, I want to make sure it's fully cured first. So anyway, let me know. We hope you learned something on it, and maybe you've got something you can contribute as far as flake and stuff like that I don't know, and just let me know what you think about it. If I should keep it, yay or nay. Appreciate you watching.